grab your drinks and have a seat. It's time for serial killers.
What's up?
Here we are.
We're here again.
Hello.
Another week, another story about
Serial killers.
serial killers. That's what we do on this Fatal Blend podcast. I'm T.
And I'm Jay.
And we're here to talk to you about all the things
Serial
killer.
Yeah.
And
what we're drinking.
what we're drinking.
Yeah. And just BS.
Whatever it may be that we want to talk about.
Yes, ma'am. But to hit it off right, what are you drinking?
I am drinking today. This is a different one. I am drinking an iced Americano, but it is an iced Americano that I made at home, not with my Nespresso. It's with the powdered Nescafe, the powdered Nescafe espresso. And so I am drinking a coconut iced Americano with the Nescafe espresso and coconut cream creamer. If you haven't tried the Nescafe, I would say it's a very good alternative to espresso shots. Like if you don't have an espresso machine, or if you don't have like a Nespresso machine where you can pull some shots, this is a really good alternative to still be able to make yourself lattes, Americanos, mochas at home. And it is cheap. It's like $6 for the whole entire container, which you can make quite a few of those drinks. So
Yeah, and that's our fallback when we forget to order an espresso and we have to wait.
You know, yes and no, because I stopped ordering the Nespresso pod shot, like the espresso shots. I stopped ordering those because I have the Nescafe. Like this last time that I ordered, we have no espresso blend for our Nespresso machine. We don't have the ability to pull shots right now in the Nespresso, but I didn't care because I have the Nescafe and I was like, oh, fuck it. Like I have something to make if I want to. It's not exactly the same, but it'll do.
Well, and because it's after dinner time, I've decided to bring adult beverages into the mix. Not going to go with coffee as I want to go to bed tonight. But I am doing what some consider is called a snake bite. There are multiple ways to make this, but this one is a cider of your choosing, and then you top it off with Guinness. And it's good. Might not sound good, but it's good.
It doesn't look good and it doesn't smell good. So
Looks fabulous.
I guess if you're a beer drinker, maybe. If you're a cider drinker, maybe. I'm neither of those. So
it's a nice dessert beer.
I'm a vodka tonic girl. So I don't like all that sweet shit.
Yeah, apparently you don't like flavor, because that's a vodka tonic. Flavorless.
Still delicious.
All right, so that brings us to our next point, which is, who are we talking about?
Before I get into this episode, I want to apologize in advance. The man we are talking about is Yang Xinhai. Now, this case is out of China, and I tried really hard to find the right pronunciations for the names, the cities that are in this episode. And while I did my damnedest, I know that I will most definitely screw up the names. I also know that I was not able to get all the pronunciations, so I'm taking my best guess here.
Do the best we can.
So please bear with me. Apologies in advance because I know I'm not going to say a single one of these things correctly with the correct dialect or tone because I don't speak Mandarin. So I don't actually have the proper way of saying these. So I'm doing my best. But he was in the serial killer book. I did flip the page open to him, and I can't, I'm not going to just not do his research.
No, we're going to talk about all over the world.
So no, it's not even that. It's just if I can't pronounce this stuff, I'm still going to tell you the story. It's just going to sound really weird coming out of my mouth. But we'll get into it. So again, we are talking about Yang Xinhai. Now, his nickname is the Monster Killer. He has 67 victims. The murder dates are 2000 to 2003. The location of a good handful of the murders were Hunan, China.
That's a lot of people in a short time.
And his method of murder was beating with a hammer. And then there is a characteristic of rape as well. So Yang was born July 17th, 1968 in the Hunan province in China. Now, his family was extremely poor. His family was actually one of the, if not the poorest families in this area. So this area was already kind of like an area where a lot of families lived that didn't have very much. And his family was like the lowest of the low. He was also the youngest of 4 children. And his home life was described as rough. And it's not just the living conditions. Like anybody who lives in an area where you don't have a lot of money and you're struggling to just like feed your child, your children, yourself, whatever, that's rough. But his father was also extremely abusive physically as well. So he kind of got the worst of both worlds. He had a really hard home life just at home and then a physically abusive father. He was described, though, as being intelligent, but he was extremely introverted, which, by the way, there is nothing wrong with being extremely introverted. Okay? Or intelligent, for that matter. At the age of 17, he actually leaves school, and he refuses when he leaves. So I'm assuming, based off the way that this was written, he leaves school, but then he refuses to go back to his family home. So I'm assuming he was sent away. Like maybe they were sent away to school.
Yeah, it could be.
Something like that, because he wouldn't return home, but he wouldn't go to school. So instead, he chooses that he's going to travel around China and he's going to find work as a laborer. And he never stayed in one place for too long. So he's kind of nomadic. One of his actual pastimes is writing. Again, intelligent. He would fill notebooks, tons of notebooks with stories. And these stories were of murder at fictional locations. In particular, a lot of them took place at a place he called Plato Flats. He would also have rough outlines of horror films that he would want to create. And there were also strange symbols written in the notebooks and really creepy short stories. So listen, I'm not going to say nothing bad because like Stephen King writes the books he does and he's not a serial killer. I mean, that's the only scary novel person I know.
No, there's definitely a lot out there.
I read a lot of books. I'm not going to lie. Like I read a lot, but that one would just like seem to fit the bill of what I'm talking about. Now, family members actually felt that he was kind of obsessed with this fictional world that he has created in his notebooks. They also felt that he was obsessed with the violent ideas that he put inside of them. So basically his family was kind of like, yeah, he had this like whole world that he wrote about and it almost overtook him. He was obsessed with it.
He tried to make it his real life.
Whether he tried to make it his reality or if it was just that he was so obsessed with the ideas that he was writing down, genuinely obsessed to where he thought it was almost a reality. I don't really know.
I mean, it could be because you figure the life he was in, he didn't want. That's why he didn't return home.
Probably.
He's out doing his thing. So he probably found, I wouldn't say peace in this, but it was his escape.
Yeah, probably. So as time goes on, he sort of loses touch with most of his family members because, again, remember, he's traveling around China and he's being a laborer and he doesn't stay in places long. And this is the 2000s, though. So let's remember that this is not like no way to communicate 1800s. This is the year like, well, no, I guess it's not quite 2000s. That's a lie. I don't know why I said that. So you got to remember, it's the 90s. He has ways to communicate. He just chooses not to. He just loses touch with them. And they actually his family actually ends up not really knowing where he is at any given time because he's no longer even like giving him a call or sending him a letter like, hey, this is where I'm at. He's just not talking to him. Now in 1988, Yang is actually convicted of theft and he is sent to a labor camp. And then in 1991, he is again convicted for theft and he is sent again to a different labor camp. Then in 1996, he is arrested for attempted rape. And he was actually sent to prison for 5 years. However, he only serves 3 years and is released in 1999. I still will never understand. I know this is China. I still will never understand how you can attempt to rape somebody and only get 5 years in prison. I don't understand how our world works like this.
Well, you didn't actually do it.
I don't know. Okay, so that's literally it on his background. This guy is a short research. There was not a lot about him. It was most of the research was mainly focused on the murders, and I'm just going to get into them, okay? So in 1999, remember he gets released from prison in 1999? That is actually when he begins to murder people. Now, what he would do is he would enter into people's homes at night. He would kill anyone who was occupying the property. Didn't matter who it was. If you were in the home, you were dead. Most of his victims were farmers, and if the whole family was there, he'd kill all of them. He'd kill the whole family. He also would use different tools in his killings. So he would kill them with a hammer, but he also used axes, shovels, and meat cleavers. He killed men, women, and children. And his lack of victims, like similarities between his victims, points to the idea that he was an opportunistic killer. So they don't think that he would like plan these kills out. They don't think he was like
just
following
like walking
families.
along, checking the doorknob and like, ooh, this one's unlocked.
It's like he would walk up to a house and get into this house, and whoever was there, he'd kill him. And because he wasn't searching for a victim type, he wasn't searching for a type. It was all kinds of people all over the board. He also killed all throughout central China. Specifically, he killed in Hebei, Shandong, Anhui, and Hunan. I told you, I'm sorry.
Hey, no, those are good attempts.
Now, pretty much all of the victims are unknown and or unnamed. So we don't have like a list of victim people. So I am not sure if the reason they're unnamed is because they were like the cities were trying to protect the families of the people that killed, or if they truly just didn't know who the people were that died. My suspicions are, truthfully, that most of these places that he killed, they were smaller villages. And there was a very good chance that these people just might not have known who these other people were, or they were like too scared to talk about what was happening because they're small. And it kind of sounded like pretty much everybody that he murdered was in more of like a secluded farmland. So it's almost like he'd be in these bigger cities and go to the outskirts and then, go into a home,
Less
kill the
people to see you.
Well, and that's why
around.
I'm wondering if like the authorities didn't actually know who necessarily was killed. I don't know. I thought it was weird because he killed them all in their home. So I thought it was weird that they have, I think I don't have any names actually. No, I think I have no, I don't think I have any names. I do have a few specifics, like only a couple, but I don't have names. And I can't figure out if it's because they just didn't care enough to figure out the people's names, didn't know who they were. I mean, how many people live in China? It's like 1 billion people or whatever. Yeah. I don't know how many people live in China, but it's a lot. So there's a good chance that they just didn't have the ability to know who actually owned these village homes that these people were killed in. Jay has been to China. I don't know if he's ever seen outskirts of China, but I believe he has.
Yes,
have you seen villages, just really quick, have you seen villages where it's like just like really small, desolate villages?
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
That's what it sounds like this is. So I'm going to basically go through the list of murders. There's no names to these, but it's going to be basically the city and how many people were killed in this city. But really, they're not cities. City is the wrong word. It's villages.
Yeah, and I believe it might even be providences.
No, they're called village. Their names are village. Yeah. So September 19th of 2000, Guanzhong Village. They're actually, their names are village. 2 people are murdered. Then on October 1st, 2000, Shaoyang Village. There were 3 murders and 1 rape in this village. But again, like they're not giving names. And like I said, I don't know if it's because it's just, I don't know how it is. I guess it's hard for me to picture that somebody's murdered in their home and you don't know who that person was, but maybe they don't have like sales records of homes and shit or something. I don't know. August 15th of 2001, Fanglu Village, 3 murders, 1 rape. In the autumn, at some point, of 2001, Kolu Township, there are 2 murders. Then in the winter of 2001, Hunan Province, so you're right, they are, so there you go. So the bigger cities would be provinces. Yes, is this correct? Is this what you're thinking?
Yeah, I'm almost wondering if like it would be comparable here in the States, like your county.
Okay, that would make sense. That would make sense because they were talking about there's like 4, or I named them earlier. There's like 4 or 5 main places that they were, but they're villages and townships inside of these provinces, I guess. Okay, so winter of 2001, Hunan Province, there were 2 murders. January 27th, 2002, Tongskew County, 3 murders and 1 rape. June 30th, 2002, Chaigong Township, 4 murders and 1 rape. July 28th, 2002, Zhengzhou City. See again, there's some cities, some townships.
Yeah, I think they're
counties.
just all over the place.
Zhengzhou City had 4 murders and 2 rapes. October 22nd, 2002, Zhuha Village had 2 murders, 1 rape. And this actual murder was one of Yang's most brutal murders out of all the murders that he did. So
were these rape cases separate from the people who died? So
No.
the people who are considered rape are also dead?
Some.
Okay.
So he broke in. So in this specific one, so on October 22nd, 2002, in Zhuha Village, he breaks into a home and he kills the male of the household. He rapes the mother, who was pregnant at the time, and then he kills their 6-year-old child. Now he attacks when he rapes the women, he hits them in the head and all that kind of stuff too. But he also rapes them. Now the woman actually ends up surviving the attack with serious head injuries. So she survives, her child and her husband are killed. Now on November 8th, 2002, in Jeolai Village, 4 murders and 2 rapes. So when you hear the murders, by the way, like you had said, oftentimes the 4 murders, 2 of those murders were also rape victims. Sometimes they lived, sometimes they did not. November 16th, 2002, Lu Zhuang Village, 2 murders and 1 rape. November 19th, 2002, Shigua Village had 2 murders. December 1st, 2002, Yanwan Village had 2 murders and 1 rape. December 6th, 2002, Lu Zhuang Village had 5 murders and 1 rape. And in this instance, Yang had actually entered a family home and he proceeded to use a hammer to murder the entire family in this home. This included, I guess I do have one name. One name out of all of these 67 people that he murdered. I have one name. This included Liao Zhanshui. Now, it included him, his wife, his mother, his son, and his daughter. Now, there was a survivor of this attack, which was actually Liao's father, because his father had been sleeping nearby in a newly built home that the family was getting ready to move into.
Damn.
Then on December 13th, 2002, in Suzhou Village, there were 2 murders. On December 15th, 2002, in Liz Wang Mioka Town, there were 3 murders and 1 rape. February 5th, 2003, in Kuzhuang Township, there were 3 murders and 1 rape. February 18th, 2003, Qiyeying Township had 4 murders and 2 rapes. March 23rd, 2003, in Chenguan Town, had 4 murders and 2 rapes. April 2nd of 2003, in Sanlihai Village, 2 murders. August 5th, 2003, Li Dao Village had 3 murders. And August 8th, 2002, in Donglijiang village had 5 murders. So that, again, okay, so I had one person's name, and out of all of those murders, I only had 2 even thoughts of what happened.
Well, and listening to the number count in the city, it's like, I think it was 1 house per city.
It was.
If there's 2 people in there, 4 people in there, 5 people in there, it's 1 house and gone.
Yeah, it was. I mean, yes, that's exactly what it was. And it was, he didn't stick around. So it was very much so that's how it was. But I kind of feel like I'm doing a disservice to our listeners because I don't have any details. I don't have details of the murders. I don't have details of who was murdered. I literally just was able to look for details on the area and the amount of people that were killed. And I don't know why that is. I don't know why there's not a ton of information on the people who were murdered. I feel like it's really pretty shitty that these people were brutally killed, because they were all brutally killed with at least some sort of something, a hammer or something. They were all brutally murdered, and there's no record of them at all. That's fucking weird to me, especially because all of them were murdered in their fucking homes. How do you not have a record
somebody
of who
not
these
flag
people
that
are?
and say, wait a minute here?
So those are the murders. Now, by 2003, many of these villages in central China are now afraid. They're terrified. They keep hearing of these people, these families that are being found in their farmhouses or in their homes, dead. Most of the families were actually creating makeshift weapons to try and protect their families at night. There were also some suspicions of who may be responsible, but no one knew where Yang was. So first, they already had an idea, and I don't know if it was just based off of detective work or if it was, a few people did survive, obviously. So maybe they were able to give descriptions enough, or maybe they knew who he was. Maybe he had stopped at their home at some point. I don't know, but somehow, some way, they had a suspicion that Yang was responsible for these murders, but they had no idea where he was because he was traveling throughout all of China doing whatever the hell he's doing.
Well, he probably had no reasoning or path if they were to look at where he's been and it makes a circle.
Right.
We have one more stop and we'll know where he's at. No, it's just kind of all over the place. So you couldn't even make an educated guess on where he was going to go next.
Yeah. Because there's even one, when I was reading the different places, there was one where it's like he killed in one village, killed in another village a couple of days later, and then a couple of days later went back to that other village and killed the people again. So you didn't know where the fuck he was going to go. They also they decided to create a special task force, and they wanted to create this because they wanted to find a way to catch Yang or whoever was responsible. But of course, again, he's a hard person to find. So it's like they try, but they're not able to do much. What they can do is this. They are able to link multiple crime scenes together through DNA. So they have no specific DNA, so they can't say, oh, yep, it's for sure this Yang guy.
But they say all these match. But
they know,
as soon as you find that person.
Exactly. Because remember, guys, this is 2003. Okay, so we have DNA technology at this point, and pretty decent DNA technology. And so the first thing they're doing is checking DNA of these crime scenes because they all kind of resemble each other. It's a family or people in a home that are all beat to death. And so they're looking for DNA evidence, and they're able to find DNA that doesn't belong to the people who are killed. And they're able to link that DNA to this crime scene, to that crime scene, to this crime scene, to other villages. And they're like, okay, we know one person is doing this. And maybe that was part of it, is when they start talking to the people who did survive, they're able to link together some ideas of who it could possibly be. And that's maybe how they come up with Yang. I don't know. We also have to remember that Yang did not have a permanent place of residence. So again, he has no place where they can go just talk to him, right? And he never stayed in town for very long after he murdered people. As a matter of fact, my guess would be he murdered them and left town that same night.
Yeah.
He killed...
Either that same night or the next day.
Yeah, he did not stay in town. So by the time they even have an inkling of an idea that Yang has been in their town, he's been long gone for a couple of days probably.
With no idea which direction he's going.
Exactly. On November 3rd, 2003, Yang is actually seen in Hebei. And he's kind of acting as what was described as suspicious. police were actually at this entertainment venue and they were doing a routine inspection, and Yang was in this entertainment place. My guess, it says entertainment venue. My guess is it's like a strip club.
It's a ladies' night.
Yeah, my guess is it's something like that because they only called it the entertainment venue, and they were doing a routine inspection, and he's there and he's acting weird. He's acting out of place. The police are looking at him because they're doing their normal shit, and they're like, "This guy's fucking creeping us out."
Yeah, and he's probably just in there in his own head.
He's probably freaked out because he sees these cops thinking, "Oh shit, they're here. They're looking for me," when they had nothing to do with that. So the police approach him. And they're talking to him, and just based off this shit he's saying and like how he's acting, they detain him. And they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna take you down to the police station. We're gonna question you because you're acting real fucking strange, and this is not the norm." So they bring him to the station to question him just about like how his night's been, what's been going on, and I don't know what kind of questions you're asking to him. But for some reason, through conversating with him, they realize that this is the Yang that they've been looking for to question about murders. So I have no idea how it went from being this suspicious dude at like the entertainment club to a guy that all of a sudden you think is wanted for murder based off the questions you're asking him at your
probably
like
just the way he's reacting to certain trigger words or questions.
I don't know, because they actually tag the fact that, oh, this is Yang. And he is someone who is suspected of murder in 4 separate provinces. Like his name has come up in 4 different provinces as a potential murder suspect. So they talked to him about that. After they've questioned him for however long they were talking to him, he actually ends up confessing to committing 65 murders, 23 rapes, and 5 attacks that left someone seriously injured. So my guess would be the 5 people who survived and the few women that probably survived the rape and the attack were able to link together why they were suspecting that it was Yang who did it.
Well, and I'm guessing when they were in the establishment and they started like asking questions because he's acting really weird, probably like, where do you live? Because he's bouncing all over these places and I don't have a place, or, those are probably some of those questions that triggered them to ask more questions and made him even more nervous, and then spiraled into him getting, again, like you said, I don't know how they said this is the Yang, but, I think that's why, first him being nervous and then them asking the questions.
Well, one of the things they did do, so my guess would be that they probably told him that they thought he might have something to do with some murders. And he was like, "No, I didn't do anything." And they said, "Okay, well, we're going to take your DNA because you're sitting in our office right now." And he was like, "Okay, fine, I did it." So they did. They took his DNA, and they were actually able to match his DNA to a shit ton of the
Can you
crime
imagine, like, you're that person that runs that DNA, and it's like ding, 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 like just a ton of them.
So on February 1st, 2004, Yang goes to trial for these murders. And this trial is actually held behind closed doors, and it lasts for 1 hour. This is China. Well, they do things differently.
Yeah, and he confessed, and his DNA matches, and like there's what
no
are you going to do?
And I don't know if they do jury trials or not in China, but there's no reason for a jury trial in this actually at all. He is found guilty on all charges, and he is sentenced to death. And he actually accepts the charges and tells the judge that he has no intention on being part of society anyways. So he's fine with being put to death. 13 days later, February 14th, 2004, Yang is executed.
Getting it done.
By a gunshot to the head. That's his execution.
Not even like a firing squad, just like a single person. Like
they brought one of the serial killers that we will end up talking about. We haven't talked about him yet, but I was seeing he killed a bunch of people, and he was Russian, and they literally brought him in a room and shot him in the head. There's only 2 ways they execute people in China. It was shot in the head, and I think hanging. I think those are the only 2.
Well, and I just read, and this is
like they're no joke.
This is off the subject of China, but I just read that there was a guy who's been convicted multiple times of child molestation.
Oh, I saw. I know.
And that part of his plea deal is to be castrated.
I saw that. I think that's interesting. That's interesting.
I can't remember where, but there's an actual, like a country that I'm sure there's multiple, but that's what they do if you get caught.
Here's what's interesting to me about it is I know that that's actually something that a lot of people in the United States want. They want sex offenders to be castrated upon being caught.
So they can't offend again.
So they can't offend. Okay, so here's my thing though. Do you guys all really think that castrating somebody's going to stop them? Do you really think castrating somebody is going to stop them? So does castration stop you from having sexual ideas? Probably not.
No. And
so
you're still going to be attracted, and you just won't be able to use your penis.
No, but you'll be able to download child porn.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be able to still touch a child. So how does castration stop a sex offender from reoffending? It doesn't.
And how does that work for a woman? If men get castrated, what happens to women?
Women are always treated differently when they're sex offenders. I mean, you look at the cases of women who are teachers who have had relationships with students and they go to jail for like 15 years and then they're out. It's not the same. I don't know why. It should be the same. In my opinion, it should be the same. If you're a woman and you're a sex offender just as much as a man, I don't think it matters. But I don't understand the castration thing because I don't know enough about it. But unless it completely makes your brain not have any sexual thoughts ever, I don't see how castration is going to change. Yes, you can't, like you said, you can't use your genitalia, but you still have all other parts of your body and you can still hurt a child and you can still download porn, like child pornography. So you're not doing very much for this. You're not doing anything.
No, but probably in the mind of these people who make these rules, it's like, well, if you can't do anything, then you won't be able to enjoy it. They'll just stop.
And maybe that's true. Maybe if you castrate somebody, they no longer can feel that feeling. But I don't actually know if that's how that works. So it's very weird to me. I'm not going to lie. I don't know. Listen, I don't know enough about it, but I did see that and it shocked me because I know there's a ton of people, not a ton. There's quite a few people that actually say that if you are a sex offender, that one of your punishments should be that you get on the offender registry and that you are castrated. That should be one of the punishments. And I've never understood that unless, like I said, castration stops all your sexual desires.
I just don't see how it would change somebody's thoughts.
That's what I'm saying. I don't see how it would change their thought process because I don't know how that works, but maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. It's a weird thing to me. I almost feel... I don't know how to feel about it. I'll be honest. I'm going to be very honest with all of you. I do not know how I feel. I don't know if I feel if that's inhumane. And I understand they're pedophiles and everything and they don't deserve humane treatment. So I don't know if I think it's a good thing or a bad thing. It's so new to my brain that my brain was like in shock. When I saw that, I was like, what the actual shit? Now, I will say though, the fact that the guy agreed to that will tell you one thing about that specific person. He probably truly can't help himself because he probably truly has a mental health issue and this is his only way to stop himself. Maybe then, okay, fine. But the fact that he agreed to that as a plea deal, that's insane to me. That was crazy.
Yeah, it just makes you wonder. I didn't read the whole article, but it makes you wonder what he was pleading out of.
Yeah, no shit.
To take that. So
probably death penalty.
No shit.
Anyways, so
we digress. Back to serial killers.
Well, we're basically done. I just have some shots because that was the story. I'll just refresh so we could get you right back into it. 13 days after he's found guilty of murder of 65 people, he is executed by gunshot to the head. So that is the actual full story of Yang Xinhai. Would you like to know the few tiny bits about his shots that I have?
Yes, we do.
So we talk about how it was hard for the police to find him because he moved around a lot. Also, it was hard because he would wear shoes that were too big for him. And this was because he was like, well, if I'm walking around in shoes that are like 3 sizes too big, they're going to be looking for a dude wearing a size 13 shoe and I only wear a size 9 or whatever foot he has. But it was to protect him from being identified by footprints for forensics. He also would wear brand new clothes for every murder. This was to reduce the amount of forensic transfer that he would have from crime to crime, which did not work, obviously, because they were able to literally find his DNA from crime to crime.
Right. He's like, but I would leave my hair and touch
Right.
everything
Well,
and not
exactly.
cover
Like
my hands.
you have all, it's like, what? But he tried. Look, I'll give him that. He tried.
Well, and if he's killing with a hammer,
Well,
like,
it's, yeah.
I would
What are you
almost
doing with the
guess-
damn clothes? Like,
yeah, but I would almost guess it wasn't that he wanted to not leave stuff at the crime scene. It was the transfer onto his clothes, why
Maybe.
he got rid of them and got new clothes.
maybe. Yang is still to this day known as the worst serial killer in China. And Yang's motive is actually unknown. He never, before he died, he never said why he killed people. However, there are two theories behind why he murdered people. Number one, which I'm going to be honest, I don't even entertain this one, but I have to tell it to you, is that he and his girlfriend broke up and he got angry at her. So he started killing people. I don't think that that's the reason he's going around killing. Because in my honest opinion, if he was killing because of his girlfriend breaking up with him, he would be killing girls who looked like his girlfriend.
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
They would be the stand-in, the pseudo girlfriends. That's what he wouldn't be killing farmers and children, men and children.
Yep.
Like he wouldn't be doing that. The second theory, and I think this is probably more like it, is that he killed for the fun of killing people. Now that I do believe is probably why he killed.
Yeah, I think if I could add in my own theory, part of me was like, well, was it because these people had a better life than what he had?
Well, I mean, could be. But here's what this is the only explanation he ever said, which you can take it and kind of piece it together how you want. He said, when I killed people, I had a desire. This inspired me to kill more. I don't care whether they deserve to live or not. It's none of my concern. Society is not my concern. So you can take that for what you want to take it for. I kind of feel like maybe you're a little bit right on that, because he says, when I killed people, I had a desire. Now, I don't know if that means he had a desire just to kill people. Did he have a desire to like become?
I think he just hated, by that statement, I think he just hated society and
he was
was
an
just
introvert.
and was just over society, the way he was raised, the shit he went
he
through.
was an introvert. I
Yeah.
fucking hate society too. I won't be killing people in society, but I hate society. I hate big places. I don't like being in public. I don't like shit. I don't even like going to the bar with people every once in a while. Like, I have a hard ass time. I have one fucking friend. One fucking friend to
Me.
my no.
One other friend.
I have one friend to my name, and she knows who she is. And we went out to the bar with her and like her boyfriend, and I love hanging out with her, but to get me there, it's like I gotta pep talk my ass out the house. Okay, I do not like to be around people. I like to be around family, and that's it. And then you're my best friend, so pretty much you're stuck with me.
Well,
However, I'll be rocking the Disneyland all day long. I don't have an issue at all going somewhere like that. But I don't want to be like publicly with people.
Well, and I think between him not liking society and the novels and stuff he was writing.
It was like
I think there's
he was
coalition. Yeah, I think he was either writing about the novels and stuff like that, like writing about what he was doing.
No,
or
because he
vice
didn't
versa.
start killing until 99, and he wrote those when he was like 17, 18, 19 years old.
Yeah, so I think he always had those
was his
thoughts
fantasy world.
in his mind, and
And
then
he
when
brought
he
them to
acted
life.
out, he realized this wasn't a big deal
It's
and I
like-
could do it.
Yeah, it's like he created maybe it's like he created his own reality, right? Because he wrote
Yeah.
these. He was obsessed with them. He wanted to live in his fantasy world. He's just creating it. And his fantasy world was all about killing people anyways.
Yeah.
One other quote from him, and this is what he said. He said, killing people is very usual. There's nothing special about it. Which is fucking
Yeah,
what?
see, that's how you know. Yeah.
Like that alone, again, they don't know why he killed. But if I was going to guess, I would guess that this isn't like he's one of the serial killers that killed because he liked not the thrill of the kill. Because, there are people who like to kill because of the thrill. I don't think it was a thrill. I think he just liked murder. And I think the way he chose to kill makes me think he also liked blood and gore.
Yep.
Because he wrote about it. He had all these horror movie thoughts, these creepy short stories that had a lot of blood and gore in them, and he created his very own things. And what better way to create your own perfect horror story by just randomly hitting up villages with people and just going in and killing everybody in a house and then leaving.
And maybe not so much liked, but could be more
Enjoyed?
of a just it didn't bother him.
But then why would you got to have some motivation to kill.
No. I think
it might not bother you, but
I'm saying
you got to
blood,
have to.
I'm saying the blood and guts wasn't like a ooh yeah.
No.
What I'm saying is that didn't bother him. I think getting rid of people in society was his motivation.
I agree with that, but I think he also liked doing it. Or at least like the blood part of it, to be honest with you. But I don't know. We'll never know because now he's dead. He's got a bullet in his head and he's dead. So we don't know.
All right. And now that we've got that rhyme over with, we want to thank you guys for listening as usual, sitting through this one. Had a little banter going on, so thanks for sticking it out. Make sure you follow us, share us, like us, all that fun stuff.
And I want to apologize one more time for totally fucking up some of the names. I tried. I really try. I'm not in the business for trying to like do some shit. I really tried. So apologies to anyone that thinks that I totally botched it because I already know I did.
Well, we don't not want to do a serial killer just because their name's hard to say.
Exactly.
So,
I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna do it. I'm just doing it to my best of my ability. Other than that, I just wanted to say thank you for listening to me talk about the monster killer in China. Until next week, goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Remember to lock your doors and bar your windows. Until next time.